figured it out. I finally cracked the code. I figured out how to speak to God. After years of testing and training, I finally done it. I can't seem to get an actual read on him though. It's this stupid encryption. What does it mean? What does it say? I need to know. Come on, work with me. Work with me. I think I did it. I got it. God, tell me the truth. I need to know. Well said! How's it going, you beautiful sons of guns? My name's the Dapper Saint, and welcome to Interview with the Whisperer. Now, this isn't exactly what I was going to originally record tonight, but then I saw it and I was really interested by the idea behind it. Pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to go interview somebody who apparently has made a radio that can speak with God. And I just thought, hey, it's a dialogue-based game and I have the grammatical errors of a 5-year-old, so why not try this? What would you say to God should you have the chance to speak with them? Nah, too easy. God used to speak to us through burning bushes and hazy vision, but not anymore. They've upgraded their equipment and made contact through shortwave radio. Could be funny, but I don't know. Maybe a biblical quote, but which one? Maybe this God is not even the father of Jesus to begin with. Maybe I just flown for 5 hours and drove for 3 more into a Galatian countryside just to meet a senile man who spent too much time listening to static. Yeah, that's probably gonna be it. On a side note, I love this title. I don't know, there's just something really cool looking about it. Donna Remidos. Manuel, this is the journalist who came to see you about your machine. Pay attention and be kind to them. I'm not hungry, Mermados. Excuse him. As you can see, Don Manuel has trouble focusing and following conversations. Feel that. But if you're persistent enough, you'll see this man is full of wisdom. That's alright, Donna. Thank you so much for your hospitality. I'll handle it from here. Very well. I'll leave you two to it. I'll be tending to the cows if you need anything. Thank you so much. You better behave, you hear me, Manuel? Why don't you tell this person to behave instead, huh? Last one came by as a joke of journalists. Good grief. It's alright, Donna. I'll be tactful. I'll come back at noon. Thank you. I'm gonna move my mouse over here. Give me a minute to review my notes and set up a recorder. We'll begin, Don. I've never been hunting in my life, even if my father was a fine hunter, or so they say. That's nice. Okay, Donna, wasn't exaggerating. Well, put some reverb on this. Do I even know how to do reverb yet? We'll figure it out in post. Okay, Donna wasn't exaggerating. This man may be the trickiest interview I've ever attempted. Oh, got notes on the side. Learn as much as you can from the special radio. How it works, how he made it, etc. Profile manual. Background, career, assess his sanity. Dig as much as you can about the supposed God entity Manuel contacted with. Try to gain access to the manual, or machine. Try to gain access to Manuel. Just kind of like poke an ox cord up his ass. You'll figure it out. I'll try to get as much information as I can and call it a day when I find out enough to compose an article. After how much it took to get here, I'm not leaving empty-handed. Let's question Manuel. Oh, I get to actually type. Let's ease ourselves into it. Tell me about yourself. Don. Oh, I'm nothing special, really. Oh, I kind of like this, actually. This is kind of cool. I was born in this house, and I'll most definitely die in it. I worked in land until I was 14 years old, when I joined the town's blacksmith as an apprentice. At the time, I specialized in electronics, but not fancy ones. They teach at our university. Household electronics, fixing TVs and setting up antennas for neighbors. Reading a couple of books on the matter, but I'm mostly self-taught. That's nice. That's actually kind of cool. My family tried to set me up with several women, but I've never been interested in marrying or even having sex. And they tried to make me join the church, but I've never been a fan of Catholicism. Butchering time! Yes, I'm a butcher, as you can tell by my grammatical errors. In the end, they gave up and let me pursue my calling, to mess with machines and devices. What are your thoughts on religion? Yeah, suddenly out of nowhere I become a Jehovah's Witness. Would you like to hear about God? Alright, what are your thoughts about religion? I've never been a religious man. But somehow we could call this divine inspiration. I mean, there's a lot of magic we don't understand behind human purpose. What drives us to do the things we do? Is there a secret, an explanation to it? Interesting. I'm actually quite curious how this game works exactly dialogue-wise. Like, is this kind of like Chatbot back in the day? I don't know if is that what her name was. You know, all the YouTubers played it a long time ago. I might actually make a video about that soon too, in my Nostalgic Nugget series. But I am curious if this is exactly the same thing where it learns from other conversations. Cool. So you can speak to God? I think I'm gonna ask that next. We've gotten a little bit of base ground with him. Let's try to ask something a little bit more serious. So you can speak to God? I think about it. I think I can nail down in time when this hunger for technology started. From 1950 to 1955, there was this woman, Delore, who came to live in town. I was around my 20s and I had a predisposition to mess with electronics already by that time. But meeting her and her prototypes, what sparked me in this life-long quest in me. I still miss Delore so much. That's interesting. Tell me about Delore a little bit, would you? Delore. What a woman. It was with her that I realized I'm asexual. She taught me that word, actually. And we're speaking deep Spain in the 50s here. Decades went by until I heard the word used by someone else. Besides, self-discovery. The greatest gift I got from her was a bunch of manuscripts that described technology that was yet to come. I don't know if she worked for the government or some top company, but she knew about personal computers way before they got here. I devoured those manuals again and again. She usually visited me here and spent whole evenings drinking and talking about the possibilities of encoding information and whatnot. Ahead of her time, that woman. She's my biggest inspiration. It was just after she mysteriously vanished from the town I started working on radios. So, tell me a little bit more about your work on the radio. Stealing liquor has kept me sane for a long time. No, hold on. Manual, you're falling off track. It's an art so different to messing with appliances. There's less science to it and more alchemy, more magic. You master liquor crafting through sheer experimentation. It is so fun. Even when it goes wrong. I'm pretty sure that's how house fires start, but okay. I'm not a heavy drinker, though. Well, there's an added pleasure to making liquors. And you come up with a nice batch and share it with your neighbors. A bottle of something nice can always put a smile on the townsfolk. Well, that's actually quite nice. Okay, so what can we ask this time? We need to ask something to help us get more information. Tell me more about this radio. I asked this once already, but I'm asking again. This doomed-up radio over here allows me to speak with God. It took me a lifetime to nail down the frequency. Well, it would be wrong to call it a frequency, though. It's a combination of frequency, actually. All of them fluctuating, so I had to program several emitters and receivers to stay harmonized. And it still fails from time to time and needs to be recalibrated. Let's say God doesn't like to settle on a wavelength. Can I speak to God, by chance? I'd like to speak to God. I don't know. I still don't trust you, no offense. Let's talk a bit more. Ask me again later. I may reconsider. Alright, that's fair. Is there anything you'd like to ask me, actually? My parents were really worried about me. They thought I had developed some kind of obsession. It took them a long time to understand what it means, or what makes my life worth living. But since I was able to make enough money visiting neighbors and fixing their radios and TVs in the end, they stopped caring. Their only regret is having died without descendancy, I guess. What can I say? I didn't come to the world to continue someone's bloodline. Okay, that was a bust. What else can I ask here? Like and comment what I should have asked him. What have you heard from God exactly? It's not like God had to tell me something specifically. I'm the one who contacted them after all. We had a conversation about cosmos and humanity. I was very impressed with how we've evolved and what we've accomplished with science and technology. He totally broke their expectations. God is also really amused with all our interpretations of godhood and what we call religion. God is sincerely surprised that humans catched on to this divine so early, on the fact that there must have been some extraneous force that put all this in motion. None of us got it quite right, though. What is God like exactly? You said he isn't as we expect. God doesn't do favorite colors, food, or music, or anything. God is a sentient form of energy without the same set of sense that we have. This question is just relevant to them. Fair enough. That was like surprisingly deep. Alright. How long have you been talking to God exactly? I've been talking with God for about 3 years now. At first, communications were short and lost signal after just about a couple of minutes. We were talking properly, whole even in long conversations. I'd say about half a year. Damn, that's impressive. A whole half a year talking to God. Do you fear God by chance? Having the ability to discuss with the God about certain things may desensitize you to what God really is. So I'm curious how you feel about him. I've never been a man of faith, agnostic if anything. So making contact with God at first blew out my mind. But a few weeks into, I feel weird saying this. I expected more from God. I don't feel as omnipotent as every culture describes him. I don't know if anything, I feel compassion for him. Tell me more about these conversations you've had with him. You said it took quite some time to actually get a really coherent conversation going on. So tell me about these proper conversations, as you call them. The thing that shocked me the most about God's true nature is the role they played in the creation of humankind. It clashes against every myth about the creation of our world. Earth, this planet, already existed before God visited it. They only terraformed it. It's no small feat, don't get me wrong. It's just knowing this all wasn't some grand design. God just kickstarted life as we know it, but couldn't possibly predict what's becoming of it. God terraformed Earth? What do you mean? It must have been the most groundbreaking discovery out there of our conversations. God didn't create the universe, but they sure did create life on Earth. God has terraforming powers, or should I say capabilities. They pick up a barren rock in the middle of the universe and generate an ecosystem in it by simulating it electronically, or electrochemically. They told me the process takes about 1 million years. And they oversee the early stages of development of species, and when satisfied, God moves on and leaves nature to run its course. Do you know this land is where it started and finishes the process? Galatia is a bit of a land in which God first breathed life into, when Earth was just a supercontinent. In fact, God forbid me speak in the name of that supercontinent in front of the machine, saying it may trigger some unpredictable developments. Huh. Okay, so is it talking about, I don't want to say it out loud, but like Plantera? Is it talking about the original name of the supercontinent? Or something else, by chance? I don't know if I'm going to try that. I don't want to try that right now. I don't know if there's multiple endings, and that might be a way of getting a bad ending. What else has he told you about humankind? Do you dig poetry? I'm not a great writer myself, but Dolores likes the poetry a lot. So I feel, or as a way of feel closer to her, I tried my hand at writing some. It's one I wrote about 2 decades ago. Fleeting feelings of numbness, bare wires against an old man's skin. Fleeting sensation of love, rust breath, oblivion nil. Manuel digs poetry, yeah. Well, considering the fact that we're on the topic of poetry, does God like poetry by chance? Do you have any recurrent dreams? Myself, I have some weird ones. More than a recurrent dream, I'd say, is more like a recurrent setting. And I keep visiting in my dreams a place that feels out of this world. But I guess you didn't come here to hear me rambling about my night trips. Please, go on. Does God love humans? There's so much preaching and praising of who he is and everything, but does he simply actually care at the end of the day? I don't know about happy, but I'm sure God is amused with what happened here on Earth. From what I picked up from our conversations, I don't think good or evil are concepts they dwell on. For God, watching humans killing each other makes sense for them. It's like for us to watch a nature documentary. They are for sure surprised at the level of sentience we've acquired in just a million years. So, how did you exactly build this machine? What got you on the course of that? That's a tricky question. I'm a radio aficionado myself. I was trying to come up with ways to encrypt my communications so the government wouldn't pick up on my conversations. As I started working on a polymorphic multi-layer transmission system, I found out someone was already working on a system similar to mine. So I decided to try and match this weird sinusoidal gibberish on their airwaves. That word was gibberish. And it happened to be gone. I wasn't even looking for them. You could write this off as a miracle if you may. Maybe it was God who inspired me to work on this to begin with. I discovered God is not as omnipotent as many cultures paint them. They still have their ways. Why exactly were you trying to design an encryption method? I wonder why I keep dreaming about that doctor. What doctor? Dr. Fidel Medeiros. I don't know if I saw him on TV or what, but for some reason he got stuck on my dreams. Looks like we're working together on something, a project named Second Installment. I feel he respects me and he has a lot of questions I'm able to answer eloquently, and that just fills me with pride. His face is pretty familiar to me. Feels like my dad, but not exactly him. We get along really well, like he knows what is exactly going on through my head. Besides that, his presence is a mystery to me. What exactly is this second installment that you two are working on together? A project I kept dreaming with, the second installment. Can't put my finger on what it's about, since I never remember exactly what my role is in the project. I seem to be pretty knowledgeable about everything surrounding it. Dr. Medeiros always comes to me and consults on many technical details. If I really force my brain, I can grasp some keywords instinctively, like parametric environment, character translocation, safe word, vulnerability. All gibberish to me. Tried to look it up, actually. Found out nothing relevant. We have a lot more to work with here now. I need to find some leads real quick. Let me look through my notes. So, earlier you said something about your dreams being something that's repetitive, recurrent, if you will. Tell me more about that. Dolores is the only person I ever loved in my life. Not that we ever had romance together or anything. I just enjoyed feeling or loving her in my own way. I never desired her physically. She was the most beautiful human being my eyes ever laid upon. Also, it's been the only person I have been ever able to genuinely communicate with. She shared my hunger for messing with technology, was super interested in my silly experiments. I would have married her if it meant keeping her by my side. Never mustered the courage of offering her a marriage without sex, though. Ah, Dolores. Where is God exactly? By now? I don't know, probably around. Not always here. They told me they roam the cosmos, so they inhabit a limited amount of space or energy. I don't know how big they are or how fast they travel. God roams the cosmos? What do you mean? In that aspect, we already surpassed God as a species. God hasn't managed to make contact with their creators. In fact, until we talked, their belief that they came into existence by the product of chaos after the Big Bang. It was more logical in explanation. There are more entities like God in any case. What I caught from our conversation, there's something pretty similar to what we call the devil. What's the devil then? There is a devil. Not the devil, nor Hades, nor Beelzebub, of course. But there's a deconstructive entity purpose to undo our God's work. Don't worry, God told me the devil won't destroy our world. This devil just likes to edit our world. Natural disasters, plague, any form of chaos, really. So they're more like a Loki of the world, if anything. So there are multiple gods? I'm not sure. There must be more entities like our god roaming around. For what I caught on there is actually some sort of devil. Spooky, huh? Does God speak by chance? Because one thing I noticed is the fact that you're talking about how you text each other. Have you ever heard his voice? Music. It may sound cliche, but music sure is a universal language. If you try to make a transcript or record it, it may sound like gibberish. But when God is directly speaking to you, you just understand. Okay, so God speaks in music. Interesting. Have you spoke to the devil? Huh. I didn't try to contact the devil. That is a fantastic idea for my next project. I was growing tired of God anyways. What a weird thing to say. The devil must operate on a similar composite frequency to God. If I didn't find the devil yet through this radio, it's because they aren't usually around here. But maybe we can use your phone to increase the search range via satellite. Just let me know if you're up for it. Huh. Yeah, I'm kinda down to try that. Let's try this. Yeah, let's try to contact the devil. Alright, let's do this. Give me access to your phone via Bluetooth, please. We're gonna need satellite if we want to reach a distant entity. Done. Go ahead. Alright, here we go. I'll expand the search range for godlike entities. Daemon sys HQIO to destroy God. Entities speak the following code through the shortwave. Edit admin.bat. I could destroy God with a simple message? May I have some coffee by chance? Sure. Ah! Here, have a glass. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love coffee. That's awesome. Alrighty, I am back. I took a short break because I've been at this for about like an hour or so. In the last like 20 minutes, it's been nothing but shooting blanks. I took a moment to kind of like get myself situated, got some more water, and I thought of a few different questions I was going to ask him. So I wrote some stuff down. Also, I think he might be talking about Pangea. I said Pantera earlier, and I looked up like what was the original supercontinent in Rodina or whatever it is, Rodinia. But anyways, let's try that instead in a second. First off, let's get to these fire shot questions. I'm just gonna copy and paste some questions. All right, first question: why believe it's God? I don't have a lot of friends, people at town to see me as a weird man from the cabin. That was actually going to be one of my questions I was going to ask, because this works for me. Yeah, actually, we'll talk about that then. How does the town feel about this? I'm just a weird man in a cabin at the top of the town. They don't disrespect me to my face, but I know for a fact I'm sort of recurrent joke around here. Most summers, I have kids coming around spying on me. When I look out the window, they run away screaming and laughing. As long as I keep fixing their TVs and giving them bottles of liquor, families around here treat me well enough. No one believes I actually made contact with God, though. Interesting, interesting. Are you crazy by chance? Of course, you just had to ask, huh? Go ahead, write in your cute little notebook. Manual's not in the right head. I have trouble focusing. I have to hear myself talking. I can't tell why I opened my mouth. I have strangest dreams. I'm told that I often sleepwalk into the forest and take hours to get back home. But the fact is, I've built this machine. One thing doesn't invalidate the other. That's going to be a problem. Be away now. I don't need the attention to begin with. Let's roll back for a second. I didn't mean to call you crazy, but tell me about these strangest dreams you've been having. I often dream of a facility with a view to white rocky landscape. Dreams are never the same, but they have recurring characters. There's a doctor with a white lab coat named Fidel Medeiros, who's me a lot of technical questions. For some reason, I'm able to answer. Although the memories of the conversation are always fuzzy. This doctor reminds me of my father for some reason. Sometimes Dolores is around with an elegant office suit. Whenever I had her in a dream, we often end up having a glass of wine of sort of observatory. Also, no matter how hard I try, I can never leave the facility. The time I tried to happen to sleepwalk and wake up in the middle of the forest. That could be pretty dangerous in my old age, so in some way stop trying. So, what are your plans now? I don't know how much juice there is left in me, but I guess I'll just keep messing with electronics. This radio may be a magnum opus, but I'm growing a bit tired of talking to God now. I'll go back to what I've been doing my whole life. Enjoy myself and not give a damn. Or maybe it could be exciting to try to contact the devil. What does God want exactly? God doesn't really want anything. Not from us, at least. Their work here was long done. As for it, I have other plans. Best guess is, at some point they'd like to terraform another planet if they haven't yet. But who knows? They don't like to talk much about themselves. What can I tell you? Alrighty, I used up all my questions I had. Let's, say the name of this. What I'm guessing is it means Pangea, then. Let's just try that. Supercontinent Pangea? Oh, fucking Jesus. Okay, I was not fucking expecting that. Even he's surprised. Earth Control Unit 7.2 entering maintenance mode. Error. Cannot access maintenance logs. Warning. 7844Q BioBrain processing deteriorated. Editing assess. Journalist. True gauge. Trust gauge equals true. Oh, does he trust me now? Print. Journalist. Dot true level. Current trust level 32. Ask more questions to increase. Please contact God entity and request retrieval. Returning to human handler state machine. The fuck? Okay. So he's like a maintenance machine that's keeping contact, and he's the way that God speaks through, or like keeps an eye on us, maybe? I don't know.
20 minutes later.
Huh? Wait, this is different. God, are you there? I have a friend with me that wants to hear from you. What? Hold on. Whoa. I was just like throwing shit around, and I guess he finally trusts me. Alright, I have a friend that wants to hear from you. Do you have any advice for them? Oh! God said, are you humans so obsessed with the origin of everything? And you need to fill the gaps with fiction. Does it hurt that much? Ignorance? Can I speak to God? Alright, you look like a decent person. Let me power up the machine. Finally, we're getting somewhere. Okay, so you actually speak to him. Salutations, human entity. Whoa. That sounds really weird for some reason. How do you feel? What do you feel about God? I see. It's interesting to witness what your own culture, put your minds through. To think about what originated life as you know it is in such a way. And speaking about existing in this time and age as a human entity. What do you enjoy most about human experience? Why is he asking me questions now? What do I enjoy most about human experience? The adventure. Interesting. We wish we could contained into a human entity's brain processor to be able to experience in such a way things. In a way, you are privileged. As a means to improve your experience as a human entity, we are going to offer you a gift. In just one word. Only one word. What would you like us to remove from reality? Just name it. Choose one word and we shall remove it from your world. What would you like us to remove from reality? Huh. That's a heavy-handed question. I was not expecting. Truth be told, I wouldn't want to change anything. Despite the flaws that we have as human beings, it's what made us us. So I would say nothing. Interesting choice. And what, with that, you would be happier? Ah! Overriding access to Earth Comms Unit 18.4.1 entering maintenance mode. Blocking perception of reality. Nothing. Perimeters deleted from database. Resetting encounter reconfiguration. World narrative. Coherence factor. Returning human to handler state machine. What? Incredible machine he claims they recommended. What has just happened? Oh, don't worry about it, Mr. Fiteria. I have more than enough for my article. Let's see if my editors have a spot on the next issue for your story. Wait, remember to buy some pimento padrons from Emmerich. I'd recommend not to follow up on the story to avoid bringing uncomfortable attention to the senile old man. Incredible machine he claims is made very elaborate, just old appliance stuck. Please, take care. You're not even staying for lunch? Sorry, gotta run. Gotta make it in time to the airport. Okay. That was really interesting, actually. And that kind of like changed at the end. It's odd. So in that case, were we all just machines, you know, created in God's favor to kind of like see how we interact with one another? Because even given the chance, I too became one of the robots that we saw like him. I'm really curious about that. I'm probably going to play this a little bit more on my own time and see what kind of other endings I can get, because this is kind of cool, and I bet there are multiple endings. But anyways, it's been about an hour and 40 minutes now, and I'm finally sick and tired of this. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I honestly still had a blast, despite how long this video took. This may have taken me an hour and 30 minutes, but at least you guys only need to watch about 10 minutes to understand what's going on. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you did like enjoy my content, maybe consider subscribing or leaving a comment, as it always does help. But at the end of the day, there's only one thing left to say, and that's, as always, stay dapper.